Hello, welcome to Youth Perspective on Independent Television. I am Joy Obaisiagmo, and you know how it works here. We talk about societal matters. We look at them actually from the youth perspective. And today is no different. You know, Valentine just passed. It is safe to say Happy Valentine's Day in arrears. How was it for you? Hope you had fun. Hope you were gifted, and hope you gifted somebody. But if nothing like that happened, don't worry, you're not alone. Yeah, we're together. Today we're talking about infidelity, and I'm not doing this conversation alone. I have pretty ladies here with me to do this conversation, putting it right on the table, and then we're going to. I have Jolade Ojo here with me. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Joy, for having me. I'm most delighted to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also have Julie Betts, a very pretty young lady here in the studio with me. Yeah, she has a lot to say. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Joy, for having me.
Yeah, so we're talking about infidelity. I know you might be wondering why infidelity. Like I said, Valentine just passed and a lot happened. I wouldn't want to say too much because I have my guest here. So first of all, let's understand infidelity. And someone says infidelity actually goes with, infidelity, loyalty. Yeah. So let's understand what infidelity really is. And also, loyalty. Jalade.
All right, yes. So when we talk about infidelity for me, or it's even a general perception, infidelity is a breach of trust between a breach of trust in a committed relationship, especially when it involves one partner violating like an agreed boundary. It could be romantic, could be sexual exclusivity. Infidelity occurs when you break that trust, when you break an agreed boundary in a relationship.
I like that word, agreed boundary.
Yes, and oftentimes a lot of persons tend to downplay what infidelity is. Some persons say they think infidelity is all about maybe a partner involving in sexual activity with someone other than his partner, someone outside of their relationship. But infidelity is way more than that. In this part of the world, in this part of the country,
of course, Africa, Nigeria.
Then you see people, especially men, they tend to say there's nothing like infidelity in their dictionary, because their forefathers had plenty partners.
Okay.
So they back their activity, they back whatever it is they're doing in their behavior with, I don't know how to put it.
Some kind of traditional
delusions.
I was careful not to use it.
No, it's better to hit the nail on the head, right?
Course, yeah.
They back their activities with traditional delusions. That's when you hear men say that if I have multiple partners, there's nothing wrong in it. Our forefathers used to do. Have you ever seen? Did your grandpa have had one wife when he was alive? That's the thing of the past. If I come to you now and say that, oh, this person, why are you doing this? Let's say maybe in terms of finance, you're like down here, and then I call you out on your brokenness. And will you tell me that it's normal?
Yeah.
My grandfather was. It's not something you boast of, but because that particular part of tradition or culture favors them, it favors their ego, it suits their ego, it favors their activity, they want to normalize infidelity. What I'm trying to say is that infidelity has been really, really normalized in this part of the world.
Well, Jolade, you're making us feel like right now we're kind of, roasting the other.
No, I'm not actually, because infidelity is for both genders, male, female. They all.
Julie, do you have something contrary to that?
Yeah, I support everything she's saying. But most people, they feel infidelity is when you're just physically. They feel infidelity is when you're just physically attached to someone else who you're not in a relationship with. But the thing is, it's more than that. Like you can be emotionally attached to somebody, and like maybe you'll be having long conversations with that person, spending more time with someone that you are currently not in a relationship with.
Okay.
That too is considered infidelity.
So not necessarily going
Yes,
Yeah,
into
deep
the-
into it.
to what she has said.
Okay, yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
said emotional infidelity. When you're emotionally attached to someone other than your partner, how can you be emotionally attached to someone other than your partner?
Well, like you said, traditional, you know.
That's a factor.
Yeah.
You relate, let's say, on a deeper level with another person other than your partner. When you're in a relationship, everything that goes on and you feel like you want to talk about it, you talk about it with your partner. But in a case where you have another individual outside of your relationship, you relate with them on an emotional level, you share things with them. Some persons, you know, we have, I will not call it narcissist, or they just try to downplay so many things. Like she said, as long as there is no physical contact, there was nothing that I would say, maybe I caught you doing this thing with this person, but you are doing other things with that person. That is also infidelity.
All right, moving forward, Gilbert, you made mention of emotional infidelity. Like, how do you, okay, let me put it this way. I don't know, let's make it kind of personal in this case.
Okay.
For you personally.
Okay.
How can you actually identify that your partner is emotionally attached with someone else, or rather being, you know, or probably the person is cheating? Yeah.
To me, I feel it's quite difficult for you to notice that. It's when you see sudden changes in his character, and then you know this person is probably cheating. So you are not there when he's having this close bond with someone else, right? But you can notice it from their their character, their change in character. Maybe they no longer give you that attention. Maybe that attention they give you most times has reduced a bit. That becomes a problem. And when you notice that they confide in other people, like you're hearing something personal from someone else, that's a big problem. Like they are comfortable sharing personal details about themselves, personal challenges they're facing with someone else.
Yeah.
That can be very hurtful. You know, maybe they are not even, and there's something they do these days. Okay, my bestie. You have opposite gender as your bestie. I think that doesn't really sit well in a relationship. You can have, to me, I feel like you can have a bestie. Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong to have friends of the opposite
Like another gender.
Yeah, but being close to one particular person, like you're very comfortable to share some personal details with that person, and sharing it with the person you're in a relationship with, that's a red flag for me.
Right? All right, Jonah, did you have contribution on that?
No, I think she
Like the
has.
signs to actually see that your partner is, this person
There's
something is
fishy
going on here.
And it's just like she said, you know, when your partner, there's a change in their pattern in how they behave. You know, probably when you notice that your partner is down, they come to you for anything. Babe, I want to do this one. What do you think? Or something happened. But then all of a sudden, there's distance in the communication. You cannot like reach out to your partner. It's even like it's as though everything you even do will now start irritating them.
Yeah.
Once a man or a woman is emotionally withdrawn from you, anything you do starts irritating them. They don't have your time anymore. Nothing you do is ever right anymore.
Yeah, but Julie, how can you handle a partner that doesn't really show these signs? Like they just do as though everything is normal. You don't really, before you know it, you not hear that, you know, they've impregnated someone or they have a family out there. But you looking at their character, their composure and everything, it's just perfect. Like you already know that this is the person I'm dating. And then all of a sudden you hear that, oh, this person has another relationship somewhere. Now, how do you handle something like that?
Okay, before making any decision, yes, I have to be sure that, okay, whatever I'm hearing outside is correct, because most times you see those narratives you hear outside, they could be wrong. And if it's someone you really trust, you can approach him and talk to him about it. Like, he should be honest with you. You say, don't worry, you can talk about this. You don't make it a big deal, like, as if you want to fight or anything. You give him that opportunity to really express himself, to clear those rumors you are hearing outside. But if eventually he is still going with the normal gist that no, it's lies, it's not true, and then you find out, just make sure it's true. Just make sure the facts, the rumors you are hearing, they are true. Like you find out about yourself. You're not working based on what you heard. You're working based on what you saw, like what you've confirmed that, okay, these things are true. You wait there before you make any decision about your current relationship.
Yeah, and so that brings us to loyalty, Jolade. How do you actually see that this person is loyal to me? Because a lot of relationships nowadays, people call them situationship. It's complicated. They just go with the flow. How do you actually know that this person is really, into me as much as I am into them? We are really dating, especially these, anyways, yeah.
Okay, so I would say when you are dating someone, you can tell if they are into you or not. And loyalty is everything, infidelity is not. When someone is loyal to you, they don't break your trust, they respect your agreed boundaries, they do everything to suit you, they don't disrespect you, they don't go out, some persons even go out of their own way to disrespect their partner. That's how bad it is.
Okay.
So like being close to opposite gender in your front, like they become touching.
Infidelity is not. Like she said, some persons now, they now have besties of the opposite gender. If you are in a relationship with someone and you tell them, I don't like this, they'll cut it off because they know that you don't like it. It does not sit well with you. They'll do their best to, put a halt to it. If they can't, they just distance themselves from that person. Because when you're in a relationship and you're loyal, it takes compromise. You compromise on a lot of things. Once you're in a relationship, be it just relationship or marriage, you have to compromise on a lot of things. And loyalty is knowing that, okay, because I want to suit my partner, I want to please my partner, not because you are dumb or you don't know what's right, but because you want peace to reign and because you love that person, you tend to compromise. Now, if a man is good to you, or if a woman is good to you, you have no reason to doubt them. You have no reason, you have no way of knowing that, oh, this person is cheating on me. This person is doing bad behind my back. There's no way you know. So that's just loyalty for you. Loyalty gives you peace of mind. You're rest assured. You're like very right to defend anywhere. So that's just it.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys have been a whole lot of, you've made a whole lot of contributions. And at this point, we're going to take a very short break. And then when we come back, we will continue with the discussion infidelity. Stay with us. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Youth Perspective on Independent Television. And I still remain your host. I have beautiful ladies here. We're discussing infidelity. Yeah, so moving forward, talking about infidelity. Yeah, so do you think if a partner has cheated on the other person, do you think that relationship can still be sustained? Jolade?
It depends, for a relationship like that to go back, I don't even think it can go back to what it was. But for a relationship like that to survive and be sustained, I think the partner that has done the cheating will have to not just promise, we can promise a whole lot of things. We can say all manner of things and not fulfill them. You have to stand by your promise. And I think that even takes time. And that it depends on what they've done what they've done to their partner in the course of cheating. There are so many, sometimes when I scroll on social media, I see a lot of stories. For example, there was a woman whose husband cheated on her, and in the course of cheating on her, he infected their child with HIV because they share the same razor.
That's terrible.
So in that case, what do you want? Is this something that woman can come back from? It's not forgivable. Yeah. In the course of cheating, in the course of being disrespectful, not respecting whatever it is you and your partner have, you've even destroyed your child. Okay, not destroyed, but you've caused a damage that is going to stick to your child for life. So such things, I don't think you can recover from it, because people that forgive now, maybe you just find your partner cheating on you now, you forgive him. If it comes again, he will come and give you something that will stick with you for the rest of your life. Even though you forgive him, you have to live with that burden. So I think before you can say that cheating is forgivable or not, it has to depend on the circumstance, the type of cheating and what he has done what he or she has done to his partner in the course of cheating.
Yeah, you have a contribution to that, Gilbert.
My contribution there is, at the beginning she said no, but then at the end she said it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
And like this example,
grievous it is.
exactly. It will be very difficult for someone experiencing that to get over something like that.
Cheating, yeah.
So it will be understandable if she will forgive him or not. But to me, I feel like, it's possible that you can forgive your partner. It shouldn't be very difficult. You can forgive the person as long as he remains faithful. Because we're humans after all, we're not perfect. Like, what if you're the one who cheated? Because you're also not perfect. I'm not a cheater, but we are humans.
You're not capable, exactly.
Yeah. When you're in a relationship, things can happen. Yeah, a lot can happen that can make you to start losing that attraction you had.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that is the end of that relationship. But things might happen. It can happen to you. So what if you value a relationship and you still want to remain in that relationship and you want him to forgive you for your act? How would you feel if he doesn't
cheat on your partner, someone you claim you love? Now you are cheating on
It
that.
happens, my dear. People change.
Oh,
When you're in a
the changing
relationship,
aspect is now you cheating on your
the changing aspect.
And you know one thing, let's even drag it back a little bit to the other gender. They don't like being cheated on. It's very difficult for a guy that got cheated on to forgive
To forgive a lady.
And they'd be like, anyways, moving forward, please. Yes. I wouldn't want to.
I think I want to add that one thing that makes the other gender, I'm talking about men, feel like if they cheat, their partner will always forgive them. Is that, like I said in the beginning, that that cheating has been normalized. There was, I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I came across a discourse on social media where wives, a particular wife, I think her account, she made a post like, even if your husband cheats, as long as he's coming back to you.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Even this gender has normalized cheating for the other gender. That they tell you, as long as you don't disrespect, as long as my husband does not bring you,
I think there's this narrative. As long as
disrespect, what are you saying?
As long as some they go with this narrative that as long as I'm crying in event, Bentley, yes. As long as I'm crying in Bentley, okay, then we're good. As long as he's able to provide financially, they're okay. We don't mind.
What is wrong is wrong.
It's wrong.
According to Jolade, that thing that you guys have agreed on, the agreed boundaries, just stick to it. That's loyal. It doesn't really cost anything to stay loyal
at all.
Really doesn't. Moving forward. Moving forward, we have to move forward.
Of course.
So what would you say to people that are in that shoe right now, they're being cheated on by their partner? How would you provide solutions to them? Do you think let's just imagine that they got cheated on. How do you think they can move past that? Do you think they should keep being in that relationship, or do you think especially when the person has cheated once, twice, thrice, it has now become a normal thing in the relationship? You get, like, some persons will say, oh, we're not married, so I have to
be open. I'm single, I'm not married. So even though I'm dating, I'm single.
But do you actually think someone that, what solutions would you prefer in a situation like that, whereby the person has been consistently being cheated? How do you think that person can move past that?
Well, you have to wake up. If he has been cheating consistently, no. You need to make the right decision by breaking up with that person. You don't ignore this. These are red flags, because if he's doing it consistently, then what's the guarantee that he will remain faithful to you even after marriage? We don't want that. So you need to speak to him about it. You break up with him instantly. No one can tolerate such.
I was going to, at the end of the day, we're all humans, and it's easy to say that if I'm Palash, I'm going to leave him. It's easy, but we are all humans, and love is a very crazy thing, right? But when you now said someone that has been consistently getting cheated on. What are you doing there? It's not a do or die affair. Move, pack your bags and go.
Well, for you, have you ever been cheated on?
I mean, yeah.
So how did you handle it?
The thing is, I would not even, in the beginning when you were saying that, oh, there are things that maybe like situationships or that. Well, on my end, it was like a relationship. But on the other person's end, I don't think it was a relationship.
Yeah.
Like we rightfully said here, that if you're in a relationship with someone and they love you, they'll respect you. So I think at the end of the day, I didn't get that, and then I had to move away because you're not my husband. Like it's just at that time I was even in school, so it's not deep. That's literally me. I take things. I don't take things at heart. Sometimes I take some things at face value. Like, oh yeah, I can just shift and I will be all right. So that's just it. But I've had friends that have been in committed relationships like for a long time, and then their partner would cheat on them. They would stay. But at some point, they could not take it anymore, and they had to leave upon treating series of sickness. Like it's not even safe for you. You have a partner that is consistently cheating on you, going around with girls. You are not even safe. You have to think of your health. You have to think of everything. You have to think of yourself, because that man will not change. That woman will not change. So just leave it. A man that's consistently getting cheated on in relationships, when he marries that woman, the woman will come and give him another person's child now. That's when you now start seeing DNA issues arising. So that's just it. Just walk away. Walk away.
But sometimes I feel it will be very difficult for them to move on.
Yeah.
Since some girls, not guys, and they feel it will be difficult for them to move on. Mostly if they are dependent on that guy.
On the person.
Like they are not skillful, they can't take care of themselves, so they feel like, okay, where do I go from here? So that's why as a girl, you need to work on yourself.
Yeah, so you heard that get a skill.
Exactly. Get a skill.
Yeah, so that you can, move past it. Things that are not even supposed to keep you with someone that you're not even supposed to be with in the very first place.
Yes.
Yeah. So with that, I think we've been able to do justice to an extent to this topic. And then, subsequently, we might come back here to talk about infidelity and loyalty. And if you're there, you have a partner that loves you and a partner that you love. It costs nothing to stay loyal. Because according to someone, an already cracked egg can no to be put together anymore. Exactly. So once you break that trust, there's no more loyalty. Today we'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Joy Oba Isiagmo. Bye for now.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set roll out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Akwa seed. Ayo or Akwa game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Akwa game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Inclusive and accessible society for persons with disability, not just in Edo State, but in Nigeria at large, has not ended as far as Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NAVID, is concerned. If you've been following this program for the longest, you realize that NAVID as an organization has been at the forefront of canvassing for a law that will protect the rights of persons with disability in Edo State. And NAVID is not satisfied. Now that Edo State has the law, NAVID has also ensured that they are partnering with the Edo State Disability Commission to ensure the effective implementation of the letter and spirit of the Edo State Disability Law. Joining me to talk on this, what NAVID is doing as far as partnering with the Edo State Disability Commission is concerned, is the ego himself, the face of disability advocacy, not just in Edo State, but in Nigeria at large. He needs no introduction, but I'll try and introduce him. Melody Omosa, Esquire, Executive Director, NAVID. Welcome to today's edition of Hitches and Voices.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kingsley, and I'm glad to be here again in the set with you today.
All right, and our sign language interpreter for today is Goodluck Omusi. You know how we do it on this program. We practice what we preach, inclusion, and so we like to carry our deaf community as long as well. It's another very wonderful Friday afternoon to talk disability advocacy with you. I usually enjoy it because of your insight. We were on this program talking about the passage of the Edo State Disability Law. That has been done, but NAVID seemed not to be satisfied. You embark on a project to assist the Edo State Disability Commission to come up with several frameworks, several documents to strengthen the implementation of the law. Can you give us an overview of what this project has been about?
All right, thank you very much, and I'm happy again, as I said, to be with you today doing this. You are right when you said it's been the push of NAVID to have a law that will protect the rights of persons with disabilities and ensure that they have a place in society as their counterparts without disabilities. Reason being that we do not want issue of persons with disabilities to be handled as a matter of charity or benevolence of any one individual. And of course, you know that in society, it is often opined that there is a social contract between the government and the people. Persons with disabilities are not ordinarily in that equation in the absence of a law that provides for and protects their rights. And so over time we're on that issue, and we're glad that about 4 years ago now a law came on stream in Edo State, and that law provides for a commission that will drive the implementation of the law. And even though the law was passed by the House of Assembly and assented to by the governor of Edo State, the commission that should drive the implementation was not immediately inaugurated, and so that became another advocacy pursuit for another 3 years before we saw a commission come on stream nearly a year ago. We are not done. It is not, the commission is not meant to be symbolic. Having a law and creating a commission, it was not just about crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It is about ensuring that the commission substantially enforces and implements the disability law as provided for. And we engaged the commission and discovered very quickly that there was the need to partner with the commission to strengthen the delivery capacity, as it were, of the commission to engage society and government. Even though it's an agency of government, it is meant to be, in its activity, to be regulatory and supervisory of the ministry, departments and agencies of government in delivering, permit me to use, disability and dividends for persons with disability as provided for in the law. So that commission is strengthened and has the capacity to do just what the law provides for. Brought about a project that is called capacity building for justice sector provider in handling vulnerable group. That project was very hugely supported by the rule of law and anti-corruption program in Edo State. And between December and January 2025-2026, we worked on several projects, have workshops, have several activities to engage the commission and ensure that it is well positioned now to take on the task that the law has empowered it to so do.
Fantastic. Let's go through some of the activities during the course of this project. I know you carried out several activities culminating to what happened yesterday, which was the accessibility of the Edo State Civil Service research. Can you let us in on that?
All right. The first activity we did under the project, the capacity building for justice sector providers in handling vulnerable group. The commission is a justice, as it were, sector provider, because the disability law is a disability right. It's about the right of persons with disability and ensuring that access to justice is democratized and making sure that persons with disability are able to access what the law provides for. One of the activities we carried out first was to develop with the commission, participating actively, a operational guide, operational manual, where standard operational protocols for the commission in-house work was developed. It was a 2-day workshop that we had between 9th and 10th of December 2025. At the end of the day, with the input of an expert who guided us through, a consultant expert who guided us through the process, participation of stakeholders, especially members of the commission and duty bearers, that operational manual was developed, and it's going to guide the commission in their day-to-day activity and running of the commission. We all then moved on this year on the 20th and to /22nd of January to develop a 3-year strategic plan for the commission. It's that you want to do something, but you must have a plan. Otherwise, wishes will be horses. And you know that if, like they say, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. But we do not just want the commission to say, oh, we want to do. What exactly do you want to do? How do you want to go about what you want to do? Looking in the next 3 years, what are your plans? What are your strategies? Again, we sat together, and for 3 days, we worked
with the commission.
With the commission members, the chairman, the other members of the commission, the ex-official members from the different line ministries of government, and staff of the commission, the consultant, members of NAVID, and other civil society participants.
So everybody within the echo chain of the disability advocacy in Edo State was carried along in the entire process.
Yes, it was a participatory one. We sat down together and came up with a 3-year strategic plan. So the commission is clear as to what he wants to do between now and 2028. that strategic plan was further broken down into a 2026 work plan, where activities by activities, the commission has lined up what it wants to do between now and the end of the year. So a strategic plan was developed, and a work plan for 2026, the current year, was also developed. And you could see now that there are a lot of activities are beginning to come on stream, and we believe that once all of this is operationalized at the end of the year, persons with disability will be the better for it. And NAVID, as a partner in progress with the commission, would have been able to achieve some of the level of its advocacy. Don't forget that we pretty much occupied the space before the commission came on board.
Yes.
And now that we have a commission, we are so glad that there is a dedicated agency of government that will take on part of what we have been advocating for over time. So that happened. You mentioned the activity that happened just yesterday, the 19th of December. It was a validation.
No, not December.
19th of February. I mean to say, it was a validation of the research report on the accessibility of the Edo State Civil Service for employees and other persons with disabilities who have reason to visit the space. And again, we partner with the Edo State government in ensuring that this happened. A research, the Office of the Head of Service of the state approved, and a research was conducted across 7 MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies as a pilot to see where we are as with regards to the involvement, participation, and ability to deliver work as an employee with disability in the state. This is a baseline. The commission actually needs this so that as it advocates for the inclusion of persons with disability in the workspace, he wants to be sure of what is on ground, and are there gaps, needed to see if there are gaps, and call on those gaps to be closed. So that report was presented by the researcher that carried out that research, and we sat down again and looked at it critically and made digested the recommendations and made our input.
But I would like to know, I mean, our viewers will be interested, and listeners alike. Can you let us into some of the findings of the report when it comes to how accessible the Edo State Civil Service is, or inclusive for persons with disability in the state? Can you let us into that report?
Interestingly, the research found out that there is improvement, and government has taken steps in ensuring that persons with disabilities are provided for in the workplace. For instance, the new State Secretariat building at Saple Road has elevators and ramps provided from design into the buildings, and so that issue of coming up with infrastructure, high-rise building without ramps and without elevator, government has been able to cross that, and by ensuring that it's in its secretariat that house majority of the civil and public servants in the state, there are provisions for that. So the research noted that even in the secretariat building, there are parking lots designed for persons with disabilities. There are places reserved alone for persons with disabilities to park in the secretariat building. The research pretty well identified that, and that in fact in one of the ministries, assistive devices were provided for some of the employees to be able to do their work. But what the research also found out is that whereas there are structural provision for the inclusion of persons with disability in the state civil and public service, there is, however, functional exclusion of persons with disabilities. Structurally, those things are provided for. Functionally, it's a problem. The elevators sometimes are not optimal. They are not working at its utmost best, because there is always the either one or two of the elevators not working. issue of power outage that can also affect the working of the elevator, it's also there. And so the recommendation is that these things should not just be for decoration. At all times, that elevator or lift that government has invested so hugely on to have should function, because there are persons with disability who daily need to make use of this. And for a fact, the report also found out that there are times persons with disabilities, especially those who uses the wheelchair or uses the clutches, are unable to access their office because of the non-functionality of those elevators. Yes.
Fantastic. You've done a research on the Edo State Civil Service. I'll be looking forward to a time where Navid will do a research to see what is happening in the private sector as well. Looking forward to that. But we'll go on a quick break now. We'll come back. Don't forget, our guest is Melody Omosa, Executive Director, NAVID, Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability. We'll come back to talk some more. Program is still Hitches and Voices on independent television and radio. I'd like to say a very big thank you to our listeners on radio as well. Don't forget, we are broadcasting simultaneously on television and on independent radio. My guest is the Executive Director, NAVID, Melody Omosa, telling us about the partnership with the Edo State Disability Commission and all the activities they've done to create an enabling environment for the Commission to take off and implement the Edo State Disability law. You talked about the yesterday's event, which is like the hallmark of the whole project. But I know the course of the project, you also carried out an activity which is centered around something people don't usually talk about. That is violence against, sexual violence against persons with disability. You organize a training for some critical stakeholders. Can you tell us about that?
All right, thank you. Part of the activity we carried out on the building the capacity of justice sector provider was a one-day workshop in strengthening the work of the state assault referral center, otherwise called the SAC center, the state assault referral center, where victims of sexual and gender-based violence report to. We needed to ensure that there was inclusive practice, because unfortunately we've had reports of persons with disabilities becoming victims of violence and from some persons in society, and they needed to know where to go to, and if they go to the center, how inclusive are their practices? Are they able to take in and provide the care needed by these victims, survivors of SGBV, that are persons with disabilities? That became important, and it was an eye-opener even for NAVID that organized that project, and for the SAC staff also. They learned a lot about how persons with disabilities can be well handled. It is important that even data, before now, specific data as to the number of victims with disabilities that are reported was not documented, and we saw the need from that training that there need to be a disaggregated data so that patterns can be studied, and it's now possible to do advocacy that will help nip in the bud such occurrences, how persons with disability can even protect themselves not to fall victim of such. But by and large, that was what the training was about, and we just want to see that in every sphere and every system that have services to deliver to the people of Edo State, there are inclusive practices that persons with disability, when they access those centers, those services, those systems, are also accommodated and treated.
Now, you've carried out these various activities. You've tried your best to see how you can build the capacity of the Edo State Disability Commission. What is your expectation moving forward? What are your hopes in terms of seeing to the proper and effective implementation of the law?
Well, first I must say that the commission members, the chairman, members, and even the staff of the commission are very excited. They've expressed their gratitude not only to NAVID, but to the rule of law and anti-corruption that backed this project, supported by the European Union and the international idea. They are very grateful, and they've promised that, not just promised, they've told us that the programs that we carried out indeed is helpful. So my expectation is that in the short term we will begin to see some of these translate into actionable points for the commission. There is a 2026 work plan. We want to see how they implement that vis-a-vis availability of resources. For the first time, the commission now have a budget for 2026, and of course, given the items and the things the commission hope to achieve in 2026, the government budget alone will not get that done. So the commission will be reaching out to development partners and well-meaning individuals and corporate bodies to assist in carrying out those work plans. It is only when the commission is able to do what they are set up to do that the inclusion of persons with disability in society and them able to contribute adequately to the growth and development of society will be guaranteed. For instance, from the research, we're talking about the accessibility research on the state civils and public service. One of the findings of that research was that employees with disability are contributing very meaningfully to the development of the civil service. We have some of them at senior and managerial level of the service, and this is a research that interviewed permanent secretaries, directors, and also other staff of these different MDAs, and they attested to the fact that persons with disabilities are contributing very well. So what we want to see is a community of persons with disabilities that are very useful to society. But for that to happen, they need to be given the level playing ground. And this is where the commission comes up to ensure that any form of barrier, anything that is capable of hindering people with disabilities for contributing maximally to the growth and development of society is taken away. So that's my expectation, that the commission will be effective, given that they have been so empowered and capacitated by the trainings that have happened to deliver on their mandate.
All right, I want to ask this very quickly. You made mention of duty bearers and statutory members of the Disability Commission. How important are these duty bearers and statutory members? I want you to break it down. Who are these duty bearers? What role are they supposed to play in this entire process? So
the law that sets up the commission, for instance, has provide for a chairman and 3 members representing the 3 geographical zones, Edo Central, South, and Edo North, but also that they need to be representative on the governing council from different MDAs, and the law specifically mentioned 10 ministries and agencies of government that should have a representative on the governing council. What their role is to ensure that governance and disability inclusion happens in their different MDAs. So it is not just about knowing from the persons with disabilities or the commission, also getting the input of government and those who are not persons with disability, seeing what is going to work, and both government and the persons with disability understanding themselves and meeting at a particular point to enforce inclusion of persons with disabilities.
All right, we look forward to such partnership, to such synergy. All is for the betterment of the community of persons with disability in in Edo State. We also look forward to this conversation, the continuation of this conversation. I know that Navid is not stopping. There's more to be done. There's more to come. So this is a wrap on the program today, Hitches and Voices. My guest has been Melody Omosa Esquire, Executive Director, Navid. My name is Kingsley Okoje, and I'm saying spot the hitch and be a voice. Goodbye.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin aqua seed. Ayo or aqua game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Blessings flow. Welcome to your favorite program, The Moment of Truth, brought to you by the Citadel Global Community Church, CGCC, formerly known as the Lateran Assembly. Today, all across the world, there are rumblings. Nations are plagued by perplexing situations. Societies are drowning in unprecedented upheavals. Cities are grappling with complex problems. Families are overwhelmed by seemingly insurmountable challenges, while multitudes in the valley of decision and people are in dire need of hope. At the same time, there is a stirring in the hearts of those who know their God and are said to do exploits, those who understand the times and the seasons and know what their nation ought to do, those with a compelling call to respond to the mandate of God in this decade. Brothers and sisters, This decade is a decade like no other. It's a decade of the designated favor of God upon his people. To accurately position ourselves for this current move of God and to be adequately equipped for the call of the hour, we must shape the decade by the word of God, which is why I'm so glad to welcome you to the moment of truth, a life-transforming time in the presence of God and under the influence and power of the Holy Spirit, as well as the word of God. So invite your family, neighbors, and friends as you sit back, relax, and receive the engrafted word of God, which is able to save your soul. Twice, within 8 days, they were behind closed doors, and Jesus stood in their midst. There was no hole in the wall, because he's the door. He's the door. If you have read church history, you will see what Thomas became. Thomas took the gospel to India. And when he got to India, according to church history, it was their rainy season and was bringing what they considered a strange God to them. And they asked him, you want us to drop our own gods and take your God? He said, yes, I'm going to show you his power. You see, it's rainy season, you will see rain, it will not touch ground. And the rain was falling everywhere, and he stood midway. They all turned their back to their gods and received the God that Thomas brought to them because he believed. Now, blessed are those who don't see yet. Nigeria will flourish again. Nigeria will flourish. Regardless of circumstances and situation, Nigeria will flourish again. We won! Nigeria will flourish. God will heal our land, restore us again. Nigeria will flourish again. God will heal our land. God will heal our land, restore us again. Nigeria will flourish again. Whether you believe it or you don't, you will see it. In the name of Jesus, I will see you at the top. I'm already on my way there. I'm going on the upward way. New heights I'm gaining. Every day. I am all bound. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. Thank you. Without controversy, Jesus is the door of the sheep, for the sheep, the gate for the sheep. I'm going to give you deeper things than this. Point number 3. In our world today, it is clear from scriptures that to step out of the natural into the spiritual requires one to be in the spirit. Now, how do you beat this? Let's check some things. The king of Israel was in his bedroom, behind closed doors in his war room, and they were discussing strategies against Israel. Then the door of the sheep came to Elisha. He said, I'm opening a door there for you to see what's going on. Was he in the bedroom of the king? When he was so overwhelmed and concerned and said, what is happening around here? I think he looked at Captain Naaman and he said, you are the last to go to Israel. He just came back. Are you the one revealing? He said, don't worry yourself. What you say in your bedroom, there's one Elisha. He's connected to the door. The servant of Elisha, Syrian army, they were deployed to go and arrest Elisha in Dothan. He went out, he saw chariots and all the horses and soldiers. He ran back home and said, alas, master, we are finished. And Elisha got up, looked through the window, and said, I see. You can't see that those who are with us are more than they that be with them. The servant said, 1, 2. You have no wife, you have no child. There's no battalion, there's no mopole. Those who are with us, Oga, say, Lord, look, don't disturb my rest. Open his eyes. Bam! He was connected to the door. And he saw chariots of fire. God is going to open your eyes today. Open your eyes that you will see. Open your ears that you will hear. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. If that's not enough for you, to be in the spirit is to be in heaven. And guess what? It's the door that will keep a standing door open for you to access the things in the heavenlies. When I was in the UK and I saw that billboard coming from heaven with 2 poles and written on it is Luke 4:19, immediately I finished prayer. I knew the year 2022 is the acceptable year of the Lord. He was guiding me and directing me. I was connected to the door. He opened the door for me to see. And that before that happens, Nigeria will be delivered by judgment. Amen. He gave me a second time and gave me Ezekiel 7 the same manner. This is how I get to know the things I do. You can check my notes. Go on your website. Go everywhere. Download them if you can get them anywhere. You're connected to the door, it inspires you. You begin to see things others don't see. But in order for you to step out of the realm of the flesh into the spirit realm, you have to be in the spirit, not just the spirit in you. Have you seen hot balloons carrying people into the air? When you step into the spirit, that was what this Philip the evangelist did. He ministered to the Ethiopian eunuch. And here comes his own hot balloon. He stepped into the spirit. The next time they will see him, he was in Azotus. There's going to be Philip transportation before we go, because we are now laying hold of the power of the age to come. Do you understand this? Oh, Lord, help me. Apostle John was in the island of Patmos. And he had a voice behind him that says, come up here. And I will show you the things that will happen hereafter. You don't have to wait for others to palm any 3 from 4. You don't have to wait for feasibility report. I'm not asking you not to be I'm not asking you to be careless with your business, but there are things you supernaturally know. Revelation chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. After these things I looked, and behold, a door standing what? Open in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was like a trumpet speaking with me, saying, come up here. Somebody, you have been down for too long a time. You are going up. You are coming up. Come up here, and I will show you things which must take place after this. Can I hear amen? Now, with these points, how do this relate to knock, and it shall be opened unto you? That's a critical point. To connect all the dots, we need to go back to the story told by the Lord Jesus in Luke chapter 11. You know, because I know you have your imaginary door. You've been knocking all your life. Lord, we knock, we knock. Before we read that story, I want you to realize one of the truths I taught you, that knocking the door is unnecessary if the Lord has set before you an open door which no man can shut. I have to restrain myself today. I'm telling you, we won. God. Oh, Lord. I said we won. You will not die, oh. You will be there. You will say, oh, that's so wow. Oh, that's so wow. Oh, that's so wow. I'm restraining myself until the victory dance. You understand me? We're going to dance. Tell your neighbor we won. Revelation chapter 3, verse number 8. There's no point knocking at any door when it's set before you as an open door. I know your works. See, I've set before you what? An open door, and no one can shut it, for you have a little strength. I've kept my word, and I've not denied my name. Now let's read Luke chapter 11, 5 to 10, and you're going to see what it means to knock the door. Are you ready? I'll read 5 different versions to deepen our understanding of this truth. Luke 11:5. And he said to them, the title of this little parable story is, A Friend Comes at Midnight. You look at it in your Bible, it's written there. A friend comes at midnight. And he said to them, which of you shall have a friend, and go to him at midnight and say to him, Friend, lend me 3 loaves. For a friend of mine has come to me on this journey, and I have nothing to set before him. And he will answer from within and say, Do not trouble me. The door is now shut. My children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give to you. I say to you, though he will not rise and give to him because he's his friend, yet because of his... Oh, I can't hear you. Yet because of his persistence, he will rise and give him as many as he needs. So I say to you, ask. So what is he talking about here? Seek, knock. What is he saying? Because he said, he will say, the door is shut. God is emphasizing here persistence in prayers. Now I'm going to explain that further, because if you're not careful, you jump into rhetorics and vain repetitions. Persistence in prayers. You know, I was sharing with one of my sons in the faith over the phone. I wish I could see him and hug him because he won. He doesn't understand fully yet. He will understand later. I said to him, have you read the scripture? Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered him from them all. We will now emphasize many are the afflictions. We will not emphasize the deliverance. Then I shared up, this is the scripture I shared with him actually. I said, in the world, you will have tribulation. Then we put full stop there. In the morning, tribulation. In the afternoon, tribulation. In the evening, tribulation. Lord, tribulation is all around. Now, be of good cheer. We have lost that. For I have, so when you are going to pray and knock and be persistent on the truth in order to maintain what you have obtained, you start your war from, I have overcome the world. Because we don't fight for victory, we fight from victory. You come to this end. This is the end product. This is where you see the victory. I have overcome the world. And if the one who owns you, to whom you belong, has overcome the world, you think you are under the world? No way. Okay, let's go further. New King James Version says persistence. The emphasis is persistence in prayers. Luke 11, verse 8. In the NIV translation, same story. I'm just taking verse 8 to illustrate. Luke 11, 8. I tell you, even though he will not get up and give you the bread because of friendship, yet because of your shameless audacity, he will surely get up and give you as much as you need. What is the emphasis here? Shameless audacity. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Have you been there in your prayer life? No! Shameless audacity. The Syrophoenician woman. Shameless audacity. But let me leave that and come to shameless persistence. If you were the Syrophoenician woman, won't you feel offended and insulted? He said, children bread. Healing is children bread, and it's not meant for little dogs, not just dogs, little dogs. The woman said, call me what you like. Dogs eat from the crumbs that fall from under. She had revelation from heaven that whatever is in the bread is in the crumb. I'm getting somewhere before I go. Shameless persistence. Leave the Syrophoenician woman. Let's come to our brother whose condition has identified him. Blind. You would think Bartimaeus is his last name. No, he's the son of Timaeus, but his condition is now as fully identified. Blind Bartimaeus. He heard that Jesus was passing by in the book of Mark. The same story is Mark 7, and blind Bartimaeus is also in Mark. He said, Jesus is passing by, says, yes, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy upon him. You can give me Mark 8. I think we need to read it. Mark chapter 10, not 8, Mark 10, 46. I want you to see the throng, the crowd that tried to apply brakes on his faith. Now they came to Jericho. As he went out of Jericho with his disciples and a great multitude, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the road begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. The many, how many? Many. I can't hear you. What did they do to him? Many want him to be quiet. Shut up. But he cried out all the more, Son of David, shameless persistence. You can say what you like. I will reach my goal. I'll fulfill my destiny. It doesn't matter what you say. It's a shameless persistence in prayer because you have met with God. He has put his word in your mouth, in your heart, and you're not going to let go. I won't let go. I won't let go. I have Jesus. I won't let go. I won't let go. I won't let go. I have Jesus. I won't let go. These are powerful and wonderful lessons in prayer. Persistence, boldness, shameless insistence. But if you read other translations, it will be clear to you that knocking at the door is not the real intention of the Lord for telling this story. And please, Oga Baptist, because you're not a Baptist, it's not your surname, you are attending Baptist church. And listen to this. This may annoy you a little. Okay. Luke 11, verse 8, New Living Translation. Same verse. But I tell you, though you won't do it for friendship's sake, if you keep knocking long enough, he will get up and give you whatever you need because of your shameless persistence. Is that New Living Translation? It's not mine. You have the classic one, or whatever you call it. Amplified says persistence and boldness. That's that. No, this is a different translation. And I saw it in my own Living Translation. You know what it says? It says, look for it. It said, if you keep knocking long enough, he will give you what you want so that his reputation is not damaged. Look, get it out. I'm not joking. I don't just read things. He said, he will get up, he will give you what you want so that his reputation is not damaged. I had no shoes, you remember? And my mother did not consider it one of the things I needed. She gave me no shoes. I had what they call tekui. Tekui. It's made of tire, rubber. They will tie something to it, so there's no oko, it's called tekui. You stand on anything. I went for interview. They asked me at Baptist Boys, I said, where are your shoes? I said, is that part of the interview? I had no. So in order to embarrass my mother, I came out. Baba mi ti ku o, mi ò ní bàtà. I started crying. My mother said, Baba mi ti ku o, mi ò ní bàtà. Ẹgbẹ́ ara ayé bàbá mi ti kú o, mi ò ní bàtà. Look, she dragged me to wear the soul shoes. She bought me Apollo 11. And then we went to Nella. She bought me Night of Paris. Those are the two pairs of shoes that I brought to Lake. If you saw my Apollo 11, Kai, I was causing my mother shame. So he's saying here, if you keep on persisting and if you keep on shouting, you know what? Your prayer becomes an embarrassment to God. And you think God is like my mother? Tell your neighbor, don't let your prayer or your prayer life become an embarrassment to God. Okay, there's one more. Luke 11:8. The Message translation. I'm trying to get you off this knocking business. But let me tell you, even if you won't get up because a friend, if you stand your ground knocking and waking all the neighbors, it will finally get up and get you whatever you need. You know how our prayer life has become a nuisance, a noise? Hello. Tell your neighbor, don't let your prayer life become a nuisance to your neighbor. Pastor, your prayers becoming a nuisance, an embarrassment. Because you don't know what to do. Teach them properly, according to Baptist order. Tell them, don't let your prayer become an embarrassment, and don't create noise pollution with your prayer. Aladura to njagbe malong eje odi. Oluwaja! Ofun abe. Sorry, Aladura. Huh? Christian Standard Bible says what?
I tell you, even though he won't get up and give many because of his friend, yet because of his friend's shameless boldness.
Because of shameless boldness.
Get up and give him.
Okay, that's another translation. Okay, you can go study it. The Lord was saying more than knocking. What an amazing time we just had in the presence of God. I hope you are richly blessed. My heartfelt desire is that you may light up your word with the illumination you have just received. May the immeasurable grace of God empower you to act on what you've heard and to walk in the revealed counsel of God. Always remember that it takes a transformed life to transform a family, a society, or a nation. So let God do his work in you so that he can do his work through you. And as you proceed on this journey of destiny, remember that our ultimate destination is God. I pray that God's footprint will become your pathway and that your path will be as a shining light that shines brighter and brighter to a perfect day. Till we meet again next week, remain sandwiched between the
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin aqua seed. Ayo or aqua game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Alright guys, another lovely episode of your #1 rendezvous for men on television, and I'm talking about the guys hangout show on independent television, reaching you live from the ancient city of Benin. Yes, I love to call it the city where the king is truly king. Now, for starters, the guys hangout show is one unique show that gives men a voice in the society. You know, in a society where men are really not given the pride of place, especially when it comes to self-expression. Right? Men are not giving the audience that they desire or that they deserve. Unlike the other gender, of course, you know, every time a woman cries out about marginalization, abuse, or whatever it is, society is always very quick to react, unlike us men. So the real question is, why does it seem like the society is silent every time a man comes out, you know, to complain or cry about abuse? So that's basically what we're talking about tonight. Violence against men. Why does society seem silent? And of course, I'm not alone. I've got an amazing personality in the house with me. It's been a long time, and I know we haven't really done this in a long while. Yeah. He goes by the name of Michael Imagbejion.
Yeah, you got that right.
I did, right?
Yeah.
It's good to have you in the building, bro.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's been a while. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been wonderful. You know, the sun is not friendly.
No, it's not. I mean, sometimes I just wonder if someone is, maybe an angel is cooking in heaven, and
we're
suffering. Seriously.
Yeah. It's been all good though. The politics and the economy. It's not really been nice, but we're still surviving.
I mean, we have no choice than to keep pushing.
Of course.
Right. We owe ourselves survival.
All right.
Okay, so let's get right to the business of the day. Yeah, you heard me when I started. Violence against men. First of all, violence is a very serious issue, right? And when it comes to men, it's a different ball game. Of course, we understand that on no account must anybody perpetrate violence towards another, right? But every time a woman comes out to, complain about violence or being abused, society seems to be very quick to react. But when a man comes out to complain that his woman, for example, is abusing him, there's usually this, lackadaisical attitude from, the average person in the society. Like, some persons even mock him. Like, how can you even come out to say that your wife or your woman is abusing you? So let's begin like this. How would you describe or define violence? Does violence only have to do with physical assault, or there's much more to it?
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity. Let's look at the denotative meaning of violence.
Okay.
All right, so what is violence? I think according to the lexicographers, they said that violence is aggression towards someone.
Okay.
They didn't say physical. They just say being aggressive, being belligerent towards someone. So if I come towards you and I start saying some things that might hurt you psychologically or physically, emotionally, that's what violence means, basically, in the denotative aspect of it.
Okay.
You get, it doesn't have to be I carry wood and used to hit you, whether in battery or...
In other words, it goes way beyond the physical.
Of course, definitely. It can be psychological, it can be, emotional. That one is one of the worst. Yeah, that one is worse than the one is a physical one, because it can travel with you for eternity.
Okay.
Because if I say something that is that maybe it affects you or it relates to what you are passing through, I can
probably
take that thing.
In me that reminds me of something.
Of course, it reminds me of what I tried to, forget. It will be you'll be melancholic for days, for months, for years. You get, so that violence cuts across the spheres.
Okay, now let's take a look at violence as it affects men. Because it's a guys hangout show, so it's very important that we
they sidelined it to the guys.
Do you get it? So with all due respect to our the women in our lives,
they understand.
Our moms, I hope you understand. So I mean, this is us, right? And like I said, the guys hangout show is about giving men the pride of place, and of course, teaching them to prioritize themselves. A lot of times, men come out to complain about violence against them. Okay. For example, I think there's a video on social media that I stumbled upon of a man, I think based abroad whether in the UK or in the US. He was having issues with his wife. It was some sort of an argument or something. And then the wife was assaulting him, like physically assaulting him. The man was visibly provoked. He was pushed to the wall, but he couldn't do anything. If not for any reason, for the fact that they are based in the Western world, where
of course,
the right of the woman is highly protected.
Of course.
And you dare not lift a finger on the woman over there. So, the man was being assaulted. So the $1 million question here is, why is it that, first of all, what gave that woman the audacity to hit the man? Let's start from there.
Well, from what you say, Jose, you say the Western world. All right, that's already coverage for the woman. She believes she's under the protection of the government. So she believes she can do anything she wants to, and the man will not reciprocate.
But should it really be like that?
It shouldn't be like that, but unfortunately they're in a place whereby she feels this protection and I can do what I want to do and get away with it. If you hurt me, then you're out of this place. So she's under that protection, in quotes. So she just feel like, okay, I can do anything I want to do. But for me, I don't think that kind of marriage is under love. You might even find out that it's the woman that sponsored the man overseas. Most of the men that take the women overseas, most of them, you see the women being excessively submissive. You get, but so maybe in that scenario, I think maybe the woman
is the one that has
the sponsor, and so I can do anything I want to do to you because I brought you here, and that's one.
Just secondly, like they say, who pays the pipe up and dictates the tune.
You get that easier. You get, so I'm the one that brought you here. That's one, and two, I'm under the protection, so I can do anything I want to do to you. Nothing will happen.
Now let's talk about the need to empower men to speak up, especially in circumstances of this nature, because society encourages women to speak up. Society even goes as far as, advising women to take a walk from such toxic relationships. Okay, so as a woman, if you're being abused by your husband or by your man, you are advised to walk away from that relationship or marriage. But why is it that when the reverse is the case, when the man is, the victim of abuse, a lot of times he's even advised to just overlook. In some cases, he's told to walk away from the scene.
Of course.
Just to douse the tension.
Yeah.
But do you think that is a permanent solution to that problem?
All right. Definitely, running away is not actually the best, has not always been the best, and will not always be the best.
Okay.
You get if let's use my as an example now. Let me use an exemplum. I beg your pardon.
Okay.
If I like someone, if I love someone, I wouldn't want the person to go, and I would not want to leave.
Okay.
Because, like I said in one of our episodes of the series, I said love is putting someone else's needs before yours.
Above yours, yeah.
Yeah, you understand. So I think I would try to devise a means for us to settle down, for everything to be copacetic. Like, I don't have to run, but if I get to see that, just because you love someone, a person you love can also leave you. A person you love can also leave you. I can't die because of you.
Yeah.
There are many fish in the river. You understand? So we have to talk about it. If I see that it's not working out, then I won't use the door. I will use the doors. I will have to run.
Okay.
I will use the door. I will use the window.
Flee.
I will flee. So because of the fact that I love you doesn't mean I will die in the relationship. You get it? So, but the first time at the outset, what you need to do is talk it out with the person. The person is mature. The person is mature enough. Talk it out with the person. If it's not working out, then use the doors and use the windows.
Okay, because you see, I was actually going to ask you what to do in a situation where dialogue doesn't seem to be working. Because there are some persons who are just unreasonable.
Yeah.
No matter how diplomatic you try to be with them, it's like you're just pouring water into a rock because it can't penetrate. You understand? It can't retain the water. So it's a waste of time trying to reason with some persons. Some people are very quick to go physical, right? Let's not even, like you rightly said, let's try not to make it just a physical thing.
Yeah.
There's also the verbal thing. You're having a misunderstanding, a little bit of a conflict with your partner, and then she's already saying words that are, that even pierce harder than a knife.
Yeah.
Do you understand? How do you handle a partner like that? Like, how do you even begin to try to make them, engage you in a peaceful dialogue?
Let's talk. Like, all right.
Yes. How do you do that?
First of all, I think there's this idiom that says that where your treasure is,
there your heart will be.
All right. Now, a woman that is mature and loves you, I said mature and loves you.
Okay.
She will want to talk, because if she doesn't, without dialogue, you are not going anywhere. The situation will deteriorate.
You may not even be able to identify the problem.
Good. The situation will deteriorate. You understand?
Yeah.
So we have to talk. If she's interested in the man, she must find a way. She may be acting up, but she'll be like, okay, talk. Let me listen to what you want to say. She's just using means to just listen.
Yeah.
If she's really interested, or if she's still interested in the man, she'll want to hear what the man wants to say. But if she's not interested in anything, it means she's no longer interested in the relationship.
So she's probably fed up and just wants out.
She's fed up. That thing that happened, that altercation that broke out, is just an excuse, a flimsy excuse for her to leave. It's been coursing through her veins for a long time.
So you're saying that there are probably remote issues, unaddressed issues, that have been welling up in her.
Yes, of course. That one was just the time bomb. Just set it off. You understand? She's been nursing in her heart. It's been coursing through her veins like, I want to leave. That was just a good reason, in quotes. But to the man, it's a flimsy excuse. So if she's not interested, come on. Let's have a business idea or a business deal. And this business deal will take us to, let me say, the promised land, in quotes. Now, I would want us to come together, sit, plan, rejig everything so that we can get somewhere. Now, without doing that, we can't get anywhere. So for that reason, now the woman or the lady in quotes, we need to sit together as mature people. That's first, as mature people, and talk about things. Then we can, look forward to the brighter future.
All right, in case you're just joining us, it's the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television, and tonight we're taking a look at violence against men. Why does society seem silent? Some persons have argued that the reason it seems like nobody really shows interest whenever a man is a victim of domestic abuse or violence is because men are considered to be the stronger vessel. Just like the Holy Book says that the women are the weaker vessel. So, because men are known to be naturally strong, whenever whenever they're experiencing something of that sort, they are not supposed to express themselves. They're not supposed to show their vulnerability. if a man comes out to cry, for example, that his wife has been beating him, there are women who are naturally stronger than men.
Of course.
I think society doesn't actually examine that fact.
Amazons.
Do you understand? There are women who are just, strong by nature.
Of course.
And I've seen videos on social media of men getting really, really, whooped.
By the men are not strong.
It's not like they're strong. It just so happens that their women are stronger than them, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
Now, why is it that? Okay, let me just paint a scenario. You could be walking along the road and you see a woman assaulting a man physically. You might not feel the need to step in and try to intervene, right? Because you feel like, okay, maybe, in fact, some persons might even conclude that the man might have insulted or done something wrong to warrant that. But the reverse would be the case if you're walking along the road and you see a man assaulting a woman. The natural instinct in you would prompt you to intervene and try to save the woman from the man. Now, why this disparity?
Okay, first, I think we all look bossy differently. Some people see it as another way. I want to see it as something else. Generally, men are seen as very strong, and they should be able to defend themselves. They should be. In fact, it is ignominious to the society that a woman is beating a man. In fact, it's unheard of. Like
some will even find it amusing.
Of course, it's very funny. Before you never bring it on the phone and posting it on air. So because of that general belief that
men are stronger than women,
the general belief that the man is stronger than you should be able to beat the woman.
But the same society would raise an eyebrow and crucify the man if he dares lays a finger on her.
Unfortunately, that's what happens. That unfortunately is so pathetic, because normally I think should I say 98 to 2%, you will hardly see a woman beating a man, but it can happen. So for some men, you just see them, they'll just allow their spouse or their partner to be hitting them. They won't do anything. Some persons see that as, what is it with you? You're supposed to be coy about this now. Why are you doing this? Like a woman is beating you, you're not ashamed. This same set of people will be the one, you're not ashamed. Yeah. If it were me, no, there'll be blood. But if you raise your hand on this particular woman, the same people will raise their hands on you. You get it? They'll be like, you're not ashamed, you are beating a woman.
Okay.
So you see the way the world works. It's not actually fair to men. The world is fairer to the women. You understand? So if a man does come and raise the hands on a woman, it's something else. You get it? So the system favors the women.
I totally agree with you. And just like someone would say, the game was rigged against men from the very beginning, right? But let's begin. Let's now, because that's basically what this episode is about, right? We're looking at how men can begin to find solace in a world where it seems like their voice or their voices don't matter.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like I said, there are some things a man would come out to say and the people would listen. But there are one of the reasons why a man cannot even come out to tell you that he's been abused by his wife is because of how society would react, just like you said. For instance, if I come out now to say, oh, my wife is beating me, I'm sure a lot of persons are going to look at me like, are you...
What give you the goal to...
Do you understand? So what do you think society can do to give men a sense of closure and belonging? So much so that whenever they feel, abused, whenever they feel assaulted, whenever they feel like their sense of manliness is being taken away from them, they can come out and speak and be confident that their voices will be heard. What do you think society can do better? Because we really can't continue like this.
All right. Thank you very much. I think I have 2 points in that. First of all, the community or the society, I beg your pardon, they should stop being judgmental. They should stop being judgmental. See, sometimes if a man wants to hit a lady, he would think like, look at the stigma I'm going to pass through.
Yeah.
If I do this, so he's traumatized by the fact that what the society will say.
And
that's the judgment.
What effect it will have on him.
Of course, so they should stop being judgmental. Like they should just stop that. If they stop that, we'll open up. You understand?
Okay.
In fact, we were having our own non-government NGOs coming to our rescue.
Yes.
But that judgmental aspect of the society, it kills the morale of the men.
Okay.
You get? Now, let's use the other part, which is sentiment. Many persons are sentimental. For example, you see many women talking aggressively like aggressively.
Running a man down.
Yeah, like why would you want to do that to a woman? They don't want to know what happened. They don't want to know the cause. What happened is that you hit a woman that is a weaker vessel, the bearer of your children. That's
On
that
no
sentiment.
account, on no account must you lay a finger on her.
That is it. So you just see a woman goes to a pub, carries water and pour on the husband. Oh no, that's embarrassing. You get that's embarrassing. That's ignominious to the society. Now that man, now out of should I say shame, or if he's looking as if he's being belittled. Some of the persons with they'll be like, woman is doing this to you. They are judging him, so he wants to raise his hands and
to prove that he's the man.
He's actually the man, but he will think again. If I do this, there's going to be a problem.
The consequences.
Because some women will just come out and take it on their shoulder. They don't. If you see them, they don't want to know what happened. Their own is they will show you the part of the video where you are assaulted. They will ellipse the part.
They won't tell you the part that they played in the whole.
No, that is not their business. Okay. The part is the man's fault. Okay. So they're being sentimental. So that sentiment and that just being judgmental are the things that if we reduce this to the bare minimum, to the nada, it can help us a lot.
You talked about NGOs and the need to set up bodies that take up issues that have to do with violence against men, just like we have it, for women. For example, I think in the University of Benin there is such an arm that's called Center for Gender Studies. And a lot of times when you hear gender studies or gender affairs, you already know it's referring to women, whereas it's supposed to be a two-way thing, right? So can't we have, a balanced system that also caters for the need of men, especially as regards gender, domestic abuse, right, and violence against men? For example, if a woman is being abused, you see lots of NGOs, human rights activists, women's rights activists, jumping to her defense and even calling for, the prosecution of the man, calling for justice, asking that, justice prevails in favor of the woman. But why isn't that? Don't you think, men should begin to also, do you even think it's possible that for us to have such, bodies? Yes.
All right. Now, I don't think anyone will be praying I don't think anyone should be praying that God should be protected, because God can protect himself.
He even offers protection.
Of course. Now, some persons see that men are protectors, so they don't need protection.
Is that true? Do you think that's right?
Definitely not. It's just
because these stereotypes do more harm than good. It's one of the reasons why the boy child feels like I have to defend myself. And the only way he knows to defend himself is to put up his fist. And the question is, to what end? That leaves us with, a society of bruises and scars. So don't you think it will also make sense for us to have NGOs and, men's rights activists?
It will make sense a lot. The funny part of it, if you bring it up, it will be laughable to society. It'll be like, what are people doing? What are people trying to protect men for? What is this? What do you want to protect a protector? What's the point of this one? Okay, because we have ours, you want to have yours. It just seems like it's redundant. What's the point of this? What's the point? Like someone that has a gun, you are giving the person a needle to protect himself. You get so it just seems so redundant to the society. Like there's no point of this. No, I believe once in a while, or maybe back in the days, someone must have had the idea of bringing this thing up.
Okay.
But some other persons,
these factors that you've just mentioned,
some other person will be like, sir, without due respect, I don't think there's any point to bring this up, because you don't have sponsors, you don't have anything. Like, what is the point? What do you mean? What do men? Why do men need protection when they actually protect us?
Do you think
which is terribly wrong?
Do you think the shame factor also has a thing to do with this? Because just like you said, it's the same factor that makes men, swallow a lot of these things up. A man is being abused and he feels like, if I come out now, which mouth will I use to say that I'm being abused? Do you understand? Who would even believe me? And how will it sound in the ears of people? So I think, don't you think this is the same reason why we don't have NGOs and, groups that saddle themselves with the responsibility of protecting men just the same way we have it for women? Because, if we come up with such groups, people are going to start asking questions and saying, are you guys not ashamed?
You're not ashamed, yeah. All right. Now, because of this concept of this ignominy, some see most of these causes of suicide. Sometimes it's because the the pressure on society, the pressure of society from wife, from spouses, from partners, it has coursed through the man's veins. It's going to the zenith. The fact he can no longer hold it down. He just want to let it go. But there is no therapeutic session where he can pour this thing out. Just imagine the man even think like, how will he, even be racking his brain, like, how will he feel if I go to a therapist? I'm telling the therapist that my wife
assaults me,
is assaulting me, is maltreating me. It will just be filled up. Okay, see, the society right now, or the economy right now is not favorable. By the time you start, see, a man now is focusing on getting daily bread.
Okay.
And apart from that, you are pressurizing the man. If everything is too much, what will the man do? He will just think, what should I do? This place isn't supporting me. The society will not support me. If I go against, everybody's against me. Let me just end it all. So that shame factor is causing depression and one of the reasons of this suicidal attempts.
So quickly, just as we begin to wrap up in less than 1 minute, what do you think can be done to, give men a sense of belonging and also reduce, you just mentioned suicide, which is a very extreme consequence of this issue. So what do you think can be done to give men a sense of belonging and also make them, give them a feeling that they are welcome in the society and that there's no shame in crying out that you're being abused? In less than 1 minute.
All right, I think first of all, I think we should leave that shame part. They say you die in shame. You die. It's better I speak up. I speak out, I speak up than to die in shame.
Okay.
Let's forget about the shameful parts. We are humans. We feel, we have emotions.
Yeah, blood flowing through our veins.
Of course. So let's forget about whether being a man or whatever. You get. So let there be a body. Let there be an NGO. Just like everything. See, most women do complain about inequality. I think this is where the inequality is playing right now. Since they have theirs, what should we have ours?
So gender equality should find expression in this regard.
In all spheres.
All right, thank you so much, Michael. I really do appreciate you really threw so much light on this particular subject, and I hope that our viewers out there have learned a thing or two from this. It's been the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television, and we've been taking a look at the issue of violence against men and why society seems silent. Now, if you're a man out there and you're going through violence, you're suffering from some sort of abuse from your partner or from anybody, from your fellow man or from a woman, please speak up. Nobody should die in silence. Everybody should have a voice. I don't think there's any reason why you should allow anybody reduce you to a point where you feel less of yourself. Okay, so if you feel like you need to say something, please do say something. Okay, that's the only way you can find closure. My name is Harry Aigboje. It's been an amazing time on the show tonight, and I want to say that it would be nice for us to do this again, same time, same station next week. But in the meantime, make sure you stay out of trouble, do the right thing, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye for now.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Aqua Seed. Ayo or Aqua Game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua Game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Hello viewers, welcome to Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji. So today on Viewpoint, let's talk about the insecurity that has been affecting Nigeria as a country and how it affects our economy, our agricultural sector, and most importantly, our means of livelihood.
Security is the most important element if you are talking about whether state development or national development. No investment can thrive when there is no guaranteed security. And I don't think any economy can grow. I don't think any country can do well if the security architecture of that country is not such that it's able to arrest things that will make investors scared to put their investments in that very environment. And then on the issue of Donald Trump, people say it's threatening Nigeria, but I don't think it's threatening Nigeria. The issues raised that led to Donald Trump and the Secretary of War of the United States wanting to come to Nigeria, those issues, are they real? Those are the questions to ask. The killings, are they real? Is there massacre of people, whether Christians or non-Christians? I don't believe that the people that are doing it, that they are Muslims, because I do know that Islam does not encourage killings. So for them to think that they are on some mission for God in quotes, and nobody has been able to stop them. We have a country where the security agencies have not been able to curb these things for so many years. 8 years of Buhari is gone. We are post 2 years now into Tinubu administration, that's 10 years. And in a country like Nigeria, you still see where they will show you on video where people are being killed and buried. The question when some people talk, the question I always ask them is it because those that are affected are not directly related to it? So I think that the American government, coming out to say that if Nigeria cannot solve it, they want to come and solve it. I think it's a wake-up call on one, the president who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is the chief security officer of Nigeria, to either do the needful and let every Nigerian feel protected within our country.
As of today, obviously insecurity has become a thing of concern for every Nigerian. And primarily from our own research, I personally have realized that the insecurity is given birth to by Nigerians themselves, in line with the high rate of corruption in the system. Insecurity can only reduce when the corruption level is reduced. The primary cause of insecurity in our society is lack of consequences to crime. So if there are consequences, as we all know, the Nigerians are very good in abiding to laws when there is consequences to the crime they commit. So the Nigerians are very good in taking advantage of loopholes when there is no consequences to their crime. If you pay attention to Nigerians that are in diaspora today, you realize that 80% of them are very law-abiding over there. The primary reason for that is because in the Western world, the consequences to crime is not negotiable. So, but coming back home today, we all have seen it, taking a negative toll on our society, and we all are, affected by it in one way or the other. Talking about foreign intervention to Nigeria, we all, I wouldn't say we all know, but for me, it is obviously clear that this was expected at a point. It's in two ways. One way is because of the applications of the current federal government, the steps they are taking to boycott American. The country we are living in right now is a one-party system. And obviously, it's not healthy for the country. We see governors, everybody moving to APC today. So Nigeria is in the state of in the state of surgery. So we need a surgery at this point because a society that does not have a competitor is as good as doomed.
What Abai will say right now is concerning the herdsmen that come to our community here. Those are real cow. They normally come with their cow to eat people cross here in my community here. They used to come with their cow, instead of them to move along the road so that their cow will not eat grass from the road. They will take those cows to the people's farm in community. They will be eating their cross. Some will have cassava, some will have yam. Those cows will not destroy those cross in their farm. Many occasions, those people, they will come to me, started explaining what is going on in their farm concerning the herdsmen with their cow. We don't want such a thing from the community. The way they are damaging people crossing here in community is very bad. Also, in our secondary school in Umtekon here is very bad. There is no window in those school, no door. There are some iron shed that those children are using to sit in the school. Some boys, we don't know them, they will go there, destroy those shed, pack those iron and bend it, fold it and take it to somewhere they will go and sell those iron. It's the iron that they are taking from the shed. They will remove the wool that the children will use supposed to write in school. Then we remove those one away from the shed. Then we fold the iron, take it away to go and sell it to wherever they want to sell it. We doesn't want such a thing in community. We are still pleading, we are begging so that they can also support us. It's supposed the school is well available for us. The school is well built. Those windows have been fixed. Those doors have been fixed. By the time those door or window are being locked, I believe that they can never go there and be stealing those iron share in school.
First and foremost, let me start with how it affects our livelihood. You will discover that when farmers can no longer access their farms, they can no longer cultivate crops, you find out that there is food shortage and there is food insecurity. People will be hungry and the few crops or agricultural products the price will skyrocket, which will result in inflation. And if the prices of foodstuff increase, every other thing will increase to catch up with the prices of foodstuff. You'll find out that when there is insecurity, people can no longer travel. You find out that you see situations where buses are stopped and everybody is kidnapped. How will people do interstate and intercity economic matters or businesses? You find out that everyone is holed up in his own state or in his own city without being able to do cross-country businesses. And again, you find out that foreign investments run away from countries or places where there's insecurity. Where there's insecurity or fear of the unknown, money flies away. People start taking out their finances, their investments, and running away from that country. That is the problem Nigeria is facing, and it is not good for our economic development. And if need be, what stops us from asking for help? If your house is on fire and only you cannot quench the fire, will you not call in neighbors to help? I have spoken against his rhetoric before, but we should look beyond how he speaks. We all know Donald Trump, he will always be Trump. But we must look beyond that and see how we can be helped. Now, Donald Trump seems to have the list of people who are behind this mess that we are in. And so everyone is jittery. But Nigeria needs help. And if help is coming, we should accept it so that these bandits, these headsmen can be driven away. We must not play politics with our security. If we need help, we should accept help.
Insecurity in Nigeria ranges between banditry, insurgency, kidnapping, and of course, these ethnic clashes. We cannot rule that one out. Also, the farmer herders herdsmen clashes, we can also rule it out. And the fact remains that these have been so predominant in the north and southeast of Nigeria. And I think of recent, we started experiencing kidnapping in the south. Before now, at the advent of the democratic system in this era, there was this militants in the south. But I think at the moment, what we are experiencing now, one can only say that there is other hidden agenda which is not visible to the understanding of the natural man, because we discovered that in the north, a lot of religious crisis, so to say, because we see the Christians are being killed almost on daily basis, churches are burned, and of recent, the United States of America alerted us that there is, of course, genocide, the massacre of the Christians in Nigeria, of which we are not ignorant of that fact, because it has been always on the news. In Benue, in Plateau, of course, Nasarawa, Borno, Adamawa, where the Christian Association of Nigeria chairman of that state was also killed. I think as it stands, the effect is so devastating. For example, you are going to discover that especially in the northern region, there's going to be restriction of movements, transportation. Of course, also in the south, because you cannot move so freely, because fear of being kidnapped is there, and this herdsmen issue, because like in our community of recent, we saw some of these people also creating some problem, resulting in killings, and of course, those things are likely to have adverse effects on our economy and, of course, in the movement of citizens.
insecurity, is affecting our culture, is affecting food production, short of food, short of yams. At the same time, years back, we see yams everywhere, plantains everywhere, and all that. So, if I may say, but Nigeria is a nation, country, and we also have stake. But since our government are proving the otherwise, what do you expect us to do? Everywhere insecurity. Many city where we are, just insecurity, Fulani expert everywhere. Tiala and all those terrorist group and all that. Not until they browned these bandits as terrorists, I think they won't do anything about it. To a large extent, they're being funded by powers on high. At this point, sun is on the standstill, nothing is working. Nothing at all is working. And so, if now our president is beginning to wake up and ask for assembly, it's the right call towards the right direction. They should wake up and do something. Because for too long, I think some persons are making profit out of this banditry and whatever is going on, this so-called Boko Haram and all that. How can you have in a nation, in a country that we are Nigeria, our nation, we have no other country, whether we travel to America, wherever, we're still Nigerians. Just imagine, in this same nation, we have Sharia law. Does it make any sense? I will say we want Nigeria. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if we are Nigerians anymore. I don't know the right word to say. And I think the Northerners, it's high time they wake up to know we are Nigerians. We are one Nigeria, one nation. Nigeria is not for me alone, it's not for the North, it's not for the Igbos, it's not for the Yoruba, it's not for the Edos, it's not for the Shekiri or Jaws or whatever. It's for everybody. And when we wake up to that responsibility, I think and I believe Nigeria will go forward.
The security of life and property and the welfare of the citizenry is the primary obligation, the duty of the government as enshrined in our Constitution, particularly under Chapter 2, precisely Section 14, Subsection 2B, where it says that the government's primary responsibility shall be to provide welfare of the citizens and security of lives and property. And that, be that as it may, it seems that our security issue has lingered for such a long time, that it began to give some inferences, that people are beginning to infer that there's more to it. There are people who are cashing out on this, our insecurity, which shows that it's being politicized. There's more to it. But in my own honest view, I think that whatever challenge you have in this insecurity can squarely be handled and tackled by the government, except that they are having some cold feet, probably because of some of their interests or inordinate benefits they are getting from it. Otherwise, if they are set to tackle insecurity, who are these insurgents that you cannot suppress? But because there are political motives, there are selfish, objectives. There are people who are making it here and there. I mean, insecurity or kidnapping and banditry have come in the realms of billions now. They now ask people for ransom in billions, in hundreds of millions. So it has become very profitable to indulge in. So people have been encouraged to get into it because government has provided a veritable ground for it to fester. So now, I think that since Nigeria is a sovereign nation, foreign intervention cannot happen. America cannot invade Nigeria without incurring the wrath of the international community. But as a sovereign nation, your internal affairs are to be managed and handled by you and not to another nation. But America being the number one world police of all the nations, you don't expect them to fold their hands and watch the gory scenes that are flowing out from from Nigeria every day, where people are being beheaded recklessly and ruthlessly, where people's lives have been turned upside down, people have been maimed and brutalized, People have been chased away from their ancestral homes, and nothing is being done. Despite the amount of budget, huge, humongous money they've been budgeted for fighting insecurity, it ends up in private courts. And the kind of, when you fight a war that those who are fighting it are part of it, it becomes difficult to win. But most of the people fighting insurgency and insecurity are part of the problem. So that's why it becomes a problem. So I don't think that it is impossible for America to invade Nigeria. It has happened in the past.
Now we blame the federal government and the state government, not only Edo State. It's no more news. We are aware how the bandit came into Nigeria. I would not want to dwell on it too much. It affects the community, even the rural area. I have farmers that are even farming on their own inside my farm. I have almost 50 laborers. Do you know, if I didn't employ security people, that village would not have been going to farm at all. And yet, we are not feeling the impact of either the state government or the federal government. This place is a bit fair. What of Benue and Plateau? The government should wake up.
For a very long time now, the issue of our insecurity, has been quite alarming. Yes, as a nation that is suffering insecurity, the economy of such a country is going to be stagnated. As a country is also seeking to grow our economy, it is also very important that investors from around the world are attracted to invest into the economy. And then let's also look at our citizens. If there's unrest regarding, if the liberty of the people is being threatened, there's no how people can go about their daily endeavors. Right now, there's also the present issue that farmers no longer go to their farms at will because of the issue of banditry, kidnapping, and all of that, which is a major problem in our current society. It is also to that effect that we as human rights activists within our own capacity are trying out to the government to ensure that the right security apparatus is being employed, and then that the government of the day is trying to focus more their energy is being channeled to address the issues of insecurity as the ultimate unrest in our nation. With no reasons to dispute that Nigeria currently is going through insecurity, like you rightly said. But then, as a president of the country, which we believe should also be inclined to international law, we see it as a disrespect, to Nigeria as a sovereign state. Yes, before we engage, there are rules of engagement. If Nigeria as a sovereign nation is in one way or the other having a bilateral agreement or a diplomatic agreement with the U.S., inviting the U.S. government to intervene in an issue, then it will be a different case. And then the reasons why I, as a person, which I'm also entitled to my opinion, will not support that effort is because the United States, when it comes to military intervention, has a very poor record, because we've seen instances of countries where they intervene and such countries were left in ruin, and Libya is a forceful example in Africa.
Amid insecurity that is currently affecting Nigeria as a country and its citizens, with different reactions from our respondents, who also called on the federal government to do the needful to boost the security of lives and properties of citizens. They also reacted and made reference to the intervention statement made by the United States of America's President Donald Trump, calling it a welcome development, and it should also be something that should be welcomed by the country. It is Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji.
Omonyoba Nedu Ukwakolopolo, Ewai II, Oba of Benin, stepped out majestically with loud crowd to perform the Sultan rites of his late mother, Queen Mother Ioba Omoni Ikoyeme, Ioba Ewai II, who departed this world 49 years ago. Isoton is a traditional rite of the procession in memory of the departed person's spirit in Benin Kingdom. It is usually heralded by public display of the departed person's influence during their sojourn on earth. The display of a human effigy symbolizing the departed royal matriarch was preceded by the Oba of Benin, who led the procession from his palace to the Immortal Shrine at King Square in Benin City, where he offered prayers for the repose of the soul of the Queen Mother, Ioba Ewai II. After a priest assigned to the Immortal Shrine offered Oba Ewai II items for Isoton on behalf of his family. However, Chok, known as Uri, represented a mixture from royal fans after ancestral spirits were invoked to bear witness and announce his arrival. On his way home, Oba Ewai paid tributes at various pilgrimage sites, including Queen Idia Tomb, beside Oba Market, where a cheerful crowd of traders abandoned their wares to catch a glimpse of the royal palace.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.